dusty red on her shoulder. I was cleaning her shoe when it clicked on the trot over in the bright morning dew.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace. I am a realistic wellness and lifestyle vlogger. Today I'm going to be talking about my goals that I had set for the month of July and review where I landed as far as either hitting or missing those goals, then using that information to inform the goals I set for the month of August. Last month I did film a July reset video where I explained the goals that I had set for this past month, and I'm going to be applying the same goals for August, but I will be adjusting the numbers according to whether or not they seem attainable from how well or poorly I did in July. The first habit that I've been actively tracking is read at least 10 pages of a book a day. I didn't really meet that goal at all. I definitely fell off the wagon when it comes to my reading. Good news is I don't have a book count goal for like the year. I haven't set any, number to aim for as far as how many books I want to get through this year. I definitely love watching content creators who talk about the books that they read and how many books they've finished in a month, but I am just not on the same page, at least not yet. Instead of reading a book or two a month, I'm more of a chapter or two a month. My target goal for reading at least 10 pages of a book was 24 days out of the month, and I've read 10 pages a day 11 times in July. So I definitely fell short of that goal. I normally would keep the goal number and move it on to the next month and just aim for that until I meet it, and then increase that amount from there. But I think just to give myself a little bit of leeway here, I will reduce that number to 15 in August. So kind of striking in between the goal I had for July and where I fell as far as meeting that goal. And if I exceed 15, great. Then in September, I will increase that target goal. The next goal that I've been tracking has been walking 10,000 steps a day. I almost met the goal for that. I had aimed to walk 10,000 steps a day 25 days in July, but I ended up walking that many steps a day 22 days out of July. Still pretty close to that goal, only a few days off. I will likely keep 25 as my target goal for August. I think that's really attainable. I do work from home, can use my walking pad, so I can use my walking pad, and that helps me get my steps, especially during the work week. I find that it's a lot harder for me to hit my step goal on weekends because that tends to be a time where I kind of wind down, spend some quality time with my household. I usually end up on days where I'm lacking like that, ending at around 5,000 or 6,000 steps a day. If I'm not able to continue increasing the number of days where I'm hitting 10,000 steps, I definitely want to set maybe a more realistic goal for the days I don't hit that, having a target for weekends. So maybe like 7,000 steps a day on Saturdays and Sundays. It doesn't help that it is the middle of summer, so going outside in Savannah, Georgia, it's just very hot and humid. It's very uncomfortable getting those steps if I'm not at my desk, which is so backwards because most people have the opposite problem. They get the most steps on weekends or when they're able to get outside. I get more steps right now when I'm inside more often. I definitely think as the months start to cool down, as we enter fall, getting more steps during the weekend is going to get a lot easier. My third monthly habit that I've been tracking has been drinking 80 ounces of water a day. I explained in my last monthly reset that I used to have a goal of a gallon. It just felt like after months of doing that a gallon was just too much water for me. I was definitely having to use the restroom a lot more, which 80 ounces still definitely has me going to the bathroom more frequently than maybe the average person, but I just felt like a gallon, I was just stripping myself of those minerals. It just made sense to reduce that total ounces down to 80. I have been easily able to hit that every day this month. I'm at my target goal of 31 days of drinking 80 ounces. I'm going to go ahead and roll that into August. It's still a very attainable goal for me overall. The fourth goal that I've been tracking has been staying in a calorie deficit, and this has been one of the goals that I have struggled the most with in the past years. I have been taking and chronicling my experience with berberine and apple cider vinegar to kind of help me land in a calorie deficit at the end of the day. But still, in the past months, I've been tracking at about 4 or 5 days of successfully hitting a deficit. I've been maintaining a target goal of about 20 or 21 days of staying in a calorie deficit. Each month I've been rolling that over, but last month in June, I only hit that goal 2 times, but in July, I managed to stay in a calorie deficit 9 times. I definitely think that's why I'm starting to see some weight loss results finally and seeing that downward trend. I have been feeling a lot less hungry, especially in the afternoons when I used to start becoming famished. And I really do attribute that to maintaining my blood sugar overall with those supplements I've been taking. It's definitely taken a while for the results to take off, but I'm excited to continue seeing where that goes. On the subject of berberine, I noted in a previous video that they recommend that you take berberine in cycles, so every 90 days you take a week off of it. And I'm coming up on my 90 days of having taken berberine. I've only got maybe a few days. I haven't counted how many supplements I have left. I have a travel pack that I carry with me, but this is for those of you who might not know, this is the berberine that For those of you who might not have seen, this is the brand of berberine that I take. It's the tonic brand. Yeah, I've only got a couple days in here left. I take 3 a day, about 30 minutes before meals. And then I have a travel vial where I keep a handful of them in case I need it while I am out, in case I'm not eating at home. In addition to that, I also take a probiotic. I really like Seed. I just find that it's not very affordable. It's like $50 a month. That's just not gonna swing. Maybe someday down the line I can afford to start taking this again, because I definitely think it's one of the higher end probiotics out there. In the meantime, I did pick up from Target this brand by Physician's Choice. It's the Thin 30 probiotic, and it's supposed to help support weight loss. I wanted to just have a probiotic I could continue pairing with berberine, because berberine helps to rid the gut of bad bacteria. It's always good to make sure that you are taking care of the good bacteria in your stomach as well. And I've noted this before on previous videos, but I'm not a doctor. Definitely consult with yours before taking any supplements that you're unsure of. But this is what the current probiotic I'm going to be taking once I run out of Seed looks like. Lastly, I started taking this morning the cayenne supplement finally. Cayenne is supposed to be really great at supporting with your circulation, your heart health, metabolism. I've also decided to take it because I've seen it as an active ingredient in some fancy high-end metabolism enhancing supplements I've seen advertised, specifically a Mind Body Green supplement. I am not gonna lie, I took this morning after breakfast and I did feel the heat. I would say about 10 minutes after I took it, I started feeling heartburn, which I get occasionally anyways, but it says to take this once a day. I decided to take it in the morning just because people claim it's got more of a stimulant effect. I don't know whether or not it would make sense to take it in the evening so I can pair it with magnesium, which I do take right before I go to bed too. I take magnesium glycinate because it's more easily absorbed by the body than other types of magnesium, like magnesium citrate. I am going to go ahead and give this a shot for a few days, and if it's still really fiery on the way down, if I don't start to acclimate to it, then I don't know if I would continue it long term. I did have to take a couple Tums in order to get through this morning. I can't say I recommend it or not just yet, but I will keep you posted. Back to that goal, staying in a calorie deficit. I don't think that it would be very helpful for me to roll my target goal into August. I think instead I should take the win that is the 9 days out of the month that I was able to hit that goal, I'm gonna aim for 12. I feel like that is definitely an attainable and buildable goal. I definitely don't anticipate being in a calorie deficit in the long term. I think eventually once I get down to my, I wouldn't say goal weight, because I definitely think that since I'm building muscle, that ultimately isn't going to be a number that I can just decide on and aim for and feel complete once I hit. I think that getting to a visibly lean body composition is going to ultimately be the goal here. And once I hit that, then I can move on to being in maintenance. I will eventually replace it with something else once I do reach a good healthy weight for my height. For the month of August, 12 I believe is a good happy medium between the target goal that I've just been putting on each month that I've been tracking and just not getting anywhere near hitting that. To avoid being discouraged, I definitely will aim for a more realistic number this time around. My fifth tracked habit is completing a workout. I had a target goal of 21 on here, knowing that I had 5-day splits for the current workout program that I've been doing. I have been running into issues on Sundays making it to the gym. I don't have a very good excuse for those. Mainly, I find it easy to dismiss those days because they are an upper body day. I already have a push and a pull day through the week, as well as 2 lower body days. So missing that, I know it would be beneficial for me to go in and complete that. But if there were a workout that I missed for the week, total upper body, I feel like is the workout that I would pass on. Overall, I think a 4-day workout split works the best for me. Once I complete all of the Alive by Whitney programs and I start developing my own workout split, I want to build one where I am doing 2 lower body days, 2 upper body days, and then also maybe a cardio day or like a total body or core day. For August, I think I will bring that number down to somewhere between 16 and 21. I think 18 would be a good goal to set for August. Again, typically I don't tend to lower my target goals, but I think that now that I have built up a steady routine for most of these, that there's some wiggle room to lower them if necessary. And then finally, my last tracked goal is to complete a journal entry every day. I did all but 3 days. So I'm still going to, in August, have my journaling goal be 31 days. I typically journal just in the mornings, even though the journal that I use with the prompts that I have has it broken down into a morning prompt and an evening prompt. I tend to use the evening prompt from the day before to reflect on yesterday, and then I use the morning prompt to look ahead into the current day that I am journaling. The 10-minute journal is what I currently use and has been working really well for me. These kinds of videos are one of the most fun ones for me to make, and I look forward to recapping August when we come to the end of this month. Anyway, that concludes my July recap, August reset video. If you're enjoying my content, definitely hit subscribe so that you get notified when I come out with new videos. I've been coming out with videos more and more frequently, so at least 1 a week, if not 2. The YouTube community so far has been so sweet and so welcoming, so I really appreciate having a platform where I can share my experience but also incorporate some creativity. It really does feel like the best of both worlds that way. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon.